And I'm Brian Andrews. Tonight, a community has come together, although in sadness, to remember the 6 innocent lives that were lost. We are back to tracking the tropics tonight. Tropical storm Dorian weakened last night, but it may be trying to make a comeback. CBS 4 meteorologist Jeff Berardelli is joining us now with the latest information. Jeff? An assistant state attorney is on the other side of the law tonight. Adam Finkel charged with disorderly intoxication, trespass after warning, and resisting an officer without violence. Miami Beach police say Finkel was intoxicated and got into a verbal altercation with a doorman at Purdy Lounge on South Beach. An officer escorted him out when Finkel put his hands on the cop and said he had no authority to tell him what to do. Finkel was being held on $2,500 bond. He has bonded out of jail tonight. Cuban state media has released these photographs of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro visiting with Fidel Castro in Havana. Maduro is seen here presenting the former Cuban leader with a painting by the late Hugo Chavez, who died from cancer in March. Venezuela's new president arrived in Cuba Thursday to join celebrations for the 60th anniversary of the Cuban Revolution. Castro did not attend the celebrations, which were presided over by his brother Raul, Cuba's current president. Castro has been largely out of the public eye since illness forced him to step down from office in 2006.
Still ahead, headed home.
Pope Francis spending a week in Brazil, and tonight he is headed back to the Vatican. But he did announce where next year's World Youth Day will be held. Welcome back to the Sunday Night News. Pope Francis heading back to Rome on an overnight flight after a week-long trip to Brazil. The Vatican estimates some 3 million people packed the popular Copacabana beach today for the Pope's final Mass there. CBS 4's Adriana Diaz reports from Rio tonight. A blushing bride ready to be married in 2 weeks thrown overboard into the Hudson River when their boat crashed into a barge on Friday night. Now authorities say they have found the body believed to be the best man, who was also thrown into the water. Yesterday, they found the body of the bride-to-be. Tonight, her fiancé and 3 friends are in the hospital. Police have charged a friend of the couple, Jojo K. John, with vehicular manslaughter and vehicular assault. Authorities say he was driving the boat while intoxicated. And now to a deadly bus crash in Indianapolis. A group of teenagers returning from a church camp Saturday when the bus struck a wall and flipped on its side. 3 people were killed. Police have identified them as a youth pastor and his pregnant wife, who was due next month. The 3rd victim was a mother of 5. She was a chaperone on the trip. Dozens were injured in this accident, including many young children. As the news continues tonight, horror in Hialeah. The tight-knit apartment complex coming to terms with the loss of 6 of their neighbors after a deadly hostage standoff. Good evening, I'm Brian Andrews. Today, hundreds of people joined the NAACP in downtown Atlanta for a rally honoring Trayvon Martin. 2 weeks ago, a jury found George Zimmerman not guilty in the murder of the South Florida teen. Since then, protesters have organized across the nation, asking for the Justice Department to file civil rights charges against Zimmerman. CBS 4's Summer Knowles has the story. Just in time for the school year, kids in need are getting desperately needed school supplies. More than 500 families lined up for the Amigos for Kids back-to-school drive today at Jose Marti Park. Kids got free backpacks full of school supplies, and they also got books. The fair also offered free medical exams and meal plans for kids. The drive is only one of several that will be hosted throughout this school year. There is a new danger on our roads that could be putting you and your family at risk every time you get behind the wheel of the car. This is allergy season, and sufferers looking for relief may be taking certain medications that are making them drowsy drivers. CBS 4's Cynthia Demas reports on a medication alert that can have an impact on all of us. All right, the average U.S. price of a gallon of gas jumped 8 cents in the past 2 weeks. According to the Lundberg survey of fuel prices, a gallon of regular is now $3.67. In Miami, Natalia tells me the average price of a gallon is running her about $3.66. And in Fort Lauderdale, where I sometimes fill up on the way home from Palm Beach, it costs about $3.67. Wet weather in China causes dangerous situations for some drivers out there. Let's take a look at a driver in China caught in the middle of a mudslide while driving. Look at all that mud. Wow. Piling onto his car. Lucky he and the other passengers inside were able to get out. And of course, there's a white truck just kind of floating away. He was able to escape from his car. You know, down in South America, we call those derrumbes.
Not good at all.
Happens a lot in Colombia.
Well, we definitely cover a lot of flooding out here, but we don't deal with mudslides, thank goodness. That's more of an LA thing, I guess.
Yes, but we do deal with suntan lotion slides.
Oh, nice.
Lather it on, Jeff. Well, Natalia, it's already Monday morning.
It is, but it was really fun working with you. Brian, we'll be back on the air tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Good night.